to Newstalgia. We're the hosts of Newstalgia, Drew,
Amanda,
Basil.
talk about the media that we've been watching, reading, or listening to in the past 2 weeks. What's new, guys?
I've got a good one. So, fun fact about me, I love Adventure Time.
Hey.
I have never seen the last episode of Adventure Time.
It has one of my favorite songs.
And I've tried. It's just so dense. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I don't know how many episodes this series has. For a hand-drawn American animation, it's got a lot. There's a lot there. This show came out, I want to say in the early 90s.
No.
Well,
2000s.
hang on. No. Are we all Googling?
I'm Googling it now. I know it didn't.
5 or 6? No, 2007 or 8.
2010, guys.
2010. Wow. Okay.
I was a full-grown adult when it started. I remember that. So it couldn't have been in the 90s.
Here's the weird thing. I think this is why this hits nostalgia for me so hard, is because I don't fucking feel like I was an adult when this came out.
I will say, when we talked about things that feel nostalgic, this is the first thing that came to mind for me.
Yeah, it does. And it's one of those things where I did not start watching it when it came out. I rebuked it. I was like, nope, I don't want to see it, because I'm such a slave to my eyeballs and what they perceive as cute and precious. And this ain't it. Even as a huge fan of it, have never really appreciated, of course, until later, I've never really appreciated the art style. I've never really appreciated the character design. It's the same reason why I can't bring myself to watch JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, things of that ilk, because I'm just like, I don't like what my eyeballs are telling my brain. But I can't remember why. I got over it, and I have seen this very long-running series almost to the end so many times, and I think I keep getting stuck on this one part where there's like a Marceline miniseries.
It's called Stakes.
So I have found myself with access to Max, and it has, I want to say, almost the entire series on it. I don't know if it has the whole series.
I think it has the whole thing.
It also has something new, like newish.
It has a couple new things, actually.
Yeah, which is bonkers.
Because they did a couple mini-series afterwards.
Right?
There are 3.
I'm looking forward to that, but me being a completionist, I do want to see the older shit. I want to see that last episode. I want to see, does Bubblegum kiss Marceline? What happens?
Yes. The last episode, yeah. And then one of the mini-series is about the two of them.
They are the prize at the bottom of the nasty cereal box. And to say that would imply that the rest of the series is junk, and it's not.
It definitely does. It doesn't play that.
Yeah, but
Yes,
I guess what I'm saying is there's a lot. There's so much to kind of like, again, not to use a negative term, there's a lot to slog through.
Some of the episodes are not as story driving. Some of them are completely self-contained, right?
Absolutely.
And so if you're there for the story, you're not going to like those as much. Sorry, this is my favorite show that you're bringing up, by the way.
Yes. It is one of my favorite pieces of media. Here's the thing that I love about Adventure Time. The sickening feeling of discomfort that it gives you very, very abruptly at the end of some episodes, where you're just like, what the fuck did I just see? Like, everything is puppy dogs and hummingbirds. And then it hits you at the very last minute of the episode with something really deep and dark and fucked up. And you, as an adult watching the show, are left to deal with that.
Girl, you gotta watch Stakes. Sorry.
One of the best episodes, and I have not gotten to a rewatch of this yet. This is just from my memory banks. One of the best episodes to me is where Finn I think they're doing like a murder mystery in like a haunted house or an abandoned house. I don't know. But there ends up being literally like a fucked up ghost in this house, and Finn sees it. And up until this point, he has been sort of thinking like, oh, this is all fun and games put on by Jake. And anyways, he sees the ghost at the end of the episode and he says something like, I'm putting that in the vault. That's a perfect way to describe a lot of the themes that this series puts forth is, that was fucked up. I'm going to put that in the vault. I can't fucking deal with that right now. It's great, but I can't fucking deal with it. So I put this show on for my own enjoyment. I want to say it was weekend before last. And I seriously thought, I was like, Amari is going to tell me to shut this shit down immediately. I'm just going to try it. I thought she was going to hate it. This girl, we watched the first, I want to say 3 episodes. And then we went to Aldi right afterwards.
Shout out Aldi.
Aldi mention. This girl was pretending to be Princess Bubblegum in the Aldi, and she was telling all of the folks in the Candy Kingdom, i.e. the human being shoppers that were in the Aldi, to please get inside of the castle. There were zombies out there, and it was dangerous for them. And she was into it. She's into every episode. When I tell her, okay, it's time to turn the TV off now, she's like, no, I gotta watch one more episode of Adventure Time, dog. It's awesome. I know I talk about Amari every single time we do a Newstalgia. It's because she is my new life. So when we vibe on something, man, it's magical. And she has loved every minute of Adventure Time. She pretends to be Finn, and she always wants me to be Jake, which I'm like, girl, that's in character. That's perfectly fine. She has pretended to be Marceline, and she bit my neck.
Oh, no.
Yeah, she pretends to slurp the red out of stuff. It's very, very cute. I think I've said this before. When you sing the praises of certain things, it's sort of like saying the water is wet. And that's how I feel with Adventure Time. It's like, we all know it's good. We all know it's fucking dope.
Yes, that is my favorite
Basil?
show.
Oh.
I unfortunately... Okay, so it has a lot of songs in it, and they're good.
Yep.
Like, you would think they wouldn't be, but they're good, right? And so I've learned a bunch of them on the ukulele, and I have a couple that I used to sing to my cats. Now that they're gone, I cannot do it.
Aw.
But both of my cats, who we had to put down the past couple of years, when they got their injection, got sung their personal Adventure Time song.
Oh, everything stays, right?
No. That's for all my cats. So for Bean, it is O Fiona, but instead of O Fiona, it's O Mosefina, because was Bean's real name. So I would just change it. Oh, and instead of saying your fist has touched my heart, I used to say your hiss has touched my heart. And then there's a lullaby when the cat goes up into Jake's nose. I don't know if you remember that episode at all.
Yeah, the assassin cat.
Yes. And Finn sings the lullaby that their parents sung to them when they were kids. And that Simon got because he was a very rambunctious kitten at night. And I would sing him like lullaby songs. And that was one of the ones I learned to sing to him. So it would make him like sort of calm and sleepy and happy. It's my favorite fucking show. I cried when I watched the last episode hard. And then I watched, so Rebecca Sugar, who went on to do Steven Universe, did some of the music and had done storyboarding stuff and whatever on Adventure Time, and the showrunner, who was a good friend of hers, asked her to do the song that's at the very end of Adventure Time called Time Adventure. And there's a part where they're all at a convention talking about Adventure Time. She plays the song on ukulele. The guy who voices Jake is fucking sobbing.
Oh,
his eyes out.
John DiMaggio.
Yeah, if you can watch it, it's touching. Anyways, so that's all I have to say.
I have even more to say because you reminded me when Amari was a little baby, and I mean like just like jelly brain little baby, no expectations, just fucking Buddha brain. I did used to sing her, baby, I got what you need. You need some little baby socks on your little baby feet. And to watch that episode with her, the jiggler, as an almost 4-year-old, and to have her love it, it's great. I'm not going to expound anymore upon how wet this water is.
Yeah, if anybody has not seen it,
Fuck you.
Incredible show.
Fuck you.
I'm gonna go that far.
Hold on. It's an animated show technically geared towards children, although as it goes on, it seems less and less to be, because I assume they were like, well, our audience is growing up, so
It's crazy from the beginning. Y'all, no, hang on. I'm not done.
no, but they get into like existential shit like after a while that is not probably as exciting for kids to watch as
What
what
I'm
I'm saying.
saying, like, and it will end completely abruptly. It's like, here's this fucked up thing. Episode's over. And you are left to process that with no aftercare at all. This show can be ruthless. A kid would never understand this shit. But as an adult, you're like, oh, God. Oh, also, I realized after rewatching this, it's a very early episode. I want to say it's within like the first 10, where Lady Rainicorn, who speaks Korean, Jake understands her. Nobody else really does at this point. They go to the bottom of some lake to find her a translator. And the whole point.
Oh, and the voice.
Yes, the whole point is that Jake wants Finn and Lady Rainicorn to hang out and become good friends so that Jake can spend time with both of them together. Ends up backfiring on Jake, but anyways, the only voice that speaks English is this old man grandpa voice, and it's like, hey everybody, what the hell's going on? And I realized, I was like, oh my God. But I'm like, that's where I got Nestor. That's where Nestor's voice came from.
That voice.
But God damn it, you little whippersnappers. That was
The
it.
reference for Newstalgia.
Nestor is a character in one of our D&D games.
Yes, he's one of my
Yeah.
NPCs. This is just an old cantankerous man. And that was my old cantankerous man voice, was Lady Rainicorn on the translator. All right, I'm done for real.
Do you want to go, Drew?
Sure. I watched the Suicide Squad anime. Pretty much enough said. Wrong comic universe, but yeah, it is Suicide Squad in anime form.
Hang on. Is Suicide Squad Marvel or DC?
See,
DC.
enough said is Marvel.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Is it like the first film of Suicide Squad, and it's like those
I guess
characters,
not enough
or is
said.
it?
It's
Yeah, I need a little bit more.
it's not either of the movies. It's
Okay.
the Suicide Squad is, of course, Harley. As far as movies and shows go, she has to be in all of them. But then it has Deadshot, King Shark,
My favorite.
Clayface, and they eventually pick up the agent. I forget his name.
Oh, Ric Flair.
Yeah, Ric Flair. No,
Wait,
Colonel-
Rick,
no, that's why I said nope. That's
No.
Rick
Okay.
Flag.
Flag. There we
Just
go.
say-
I was like, Ric Flair's a fucking wrestler.
Yeah.
Ric Flair is the nature boy.
Whoops. Close enough.
I was like, God damn, Ric Flair is in Suicide Squad? I'm gonna watch this shit.
And also, I was wrong saying that. Enough said, because it's not a regular anime either. It's not like just them in the world doing stuff. It is an isekai.
What does
They
that
get transported to. They
I'm
get transported to
sorry.
another world.
Okay, because everybody on Tumblr says that, and I'm like, it sort of feels like the word yeet back when that started happening.
Oh.
And I was like, I think I know what that means.
It's an isekai, like the time I got turned into a slime.
My daughter's in love with a gay troll.
One of the many other isekai. There's Trapped in Heaven Without My Cell Phone. Is what it's called. One of them.
Trapped in heaven without my cell phone? Then you
Yeah.
ain't in heaven, bitch.
Isn't it basically just like isekai or isekai just means like characters from one universe who accidentally or even on purpose, I suppose, but they get trapped in another universe
Yeah.
essentially?
Exactly.
They're
Okay.
rocking it the whole time.
Looking this up, Peacemaker is there.
Yeah, Peacemaker. Right.
Peacemaker is my favorite.
I mean, I hated him in the film, but I love the show.
I loved Peacemaker and the Taika Waititi movie, that one Suicide Squad movie that was done by Taika Waititi.
Who would have seen John Cena being very funny?
The Suicide Squad. I did also watch that, but that was a while ago. Peacemaker.
As for myself, Billy and I started watching Rings of Power. I have a really hard time starting something that doesn't have my Blorbos.
Girl, me
So,
too.
hold on. Now I have to explain Blorbos.
No, I don't think you have to explain Lorbos.
Okay, I'm not going to explain Blorbos. You know, he did that thing where I've seen a couple TikToks on it where like a dad will pretend he's not interested in something and then he'll like stand behind the couch and be like, "Oh, that's interesting," and then eventually just get so into the show. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, but I'm envisioning it and I love it.
So sometimes Billy has to kind of do that to me to get me to watch something that's like not my Blurbo,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So he did that with me in Rings of Power. I missed the first 20 minutes or something. And I went to walk by and I was going to be like, who's that elfin looking dude? And then I realized, oh, he has elf ears. Damn, that's Elrond. Oh, okay. But we've only watched the first season. We actually just finished it. That's Elrond. He's my favorite character in all the Lord of the Rings stuff. But I also believe no human person can ever portray him because he's so ethereal and otherworldly in my mind.
Oh, maybe I need to watch this shit.
Well, I'm saying the actor doesn't do it for me, basically. Being an asshole. He's a plenty good looking guy, just like I have an idea in my head. Some of it is slightly based on the 77 cartoon.
Just need to watch.
Well, I've never actually seen it, but the only Hobbit book I ever had was the one that had a lot of the stuff about the 70s film, and it has like a lot of the kind of developing the character designs and stuff like that, and Elrond is in that. So some of my thoughts about what Elrond looks like is based on that, to be fair. Even though I was interested in Rings of Power, kind of, it was hard to get me to watch it. But I just had it on and I did that thing that dads do where I just sort of was like, what's going on here, and who's that, and what are they
doing?
Game
of Thrones.
Yes.
Okay. I was very much like, this is a thing that everyone wants me to watch, and therefore I am going to be oppositional and absolutely not watch it.
I was like that for a long time too.
Yeah. Here's the thing that broke me is I went over to my dad's house. This was before Amari was born. And my dad busts open 15 hands or some shit, horse wine. And he's like, let's watch Game of Thrones. And because he's my dad, I'm like, yes, sir. And so he starts me at season 5, okay?
Oh, God.
I will say, Game of Thrones is not something I would probably watch with my mom.
For real. There's a lot less boobies by the time season 5 comes around, though.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
I didn't have a problem watching it with my dad, but my dad was like, that guy has betrayed that girl back in season 3. He's saying all this shit, and I'm like, ooh, yeah. He's doing the perfect fucking thing that someone with ADHD needs for a person to do when they're watching a show. They're just like, I'm going to start you at the end, and I'm going to work you backwards, verbally, real quick. And I was into it. I was like, fuck yeah. And then season 8 happened.
And that was unfortunate. I watched Game of Thrones from the day it premiered because Billy had read the books many, many years ago, and it was one of his favorite book series. And the only reason I even knew that was because he didn't really talk about it, weirdly, but his friend for his birthday had got him this book that was basically illustrations that people had done of the characters and stuff.
Really? That's so
Yeah, he
cool.
had gotten basically an art book. And it's really cool because to look back on it now that there has been like a cast and how different the interpretations are is pretty fascinating.
That sounds cool as hell.
So I did watch it because Billy wanted me. Well, he basically was like, please, this is something I love. Please watch this with me. And I was like, fine. Rings of Power. I remember people really complaining about it. And to be fair, I don't know everything about Lord of the Rings or anything. Apparently, I remember way more than Billy, though, because I like clocked who a character was, vaguely who they are. I still don't actually know if it's a specific character or not, or if it is just one of that same group. But I clocked it, and Billy was like, no, I don't think so. I think it's that. And it was very clear they intended for people who probably didn't know much, but maybe they did, that they were red herringing. They did a bunch of red herrings. One of them I didn't catch, but this one I caught immediately, that they were like trying to make you think this guy was someone who he turned out not to be. But anyways, I remember when the show was coming out, the first season, people kept making like lots and lots of complaints. And like I said, I'm not an expert on any of the Lord of the Rings stuff. I like actually couldn't even finish the books. I got 50 pages in and they still weren't even at the Shire. They were just talking about the history of the world. And I was like, I can't do this. But now that I'm older, I'm wondering if I could actually go back and
Girl, I can't
give it a shot.
Through the movies. I think the only time that I have ever fallen asleep in public was in the movie theater during one of the
Oh my God.
movies.
I never did, but the films are also streamlined compared to the books, honestly.
Oh.
Anyhow, I remember there was lots of complaints about Rings of Power, and watching it, I'm like, how? The show is great, and I really like it a lot. The characters are interesting, and there's mystery going on because it's a prequel, right? So you'd think, oh, I know everything, but you don't actually, because you don't know how things got there. We were kind of talking about this before about spoilers, where like for me, and actually for a lot of people, spoilers aren't a problem. And part of that is because even if you have a spoiler, you don't know how it happens, right?
Sure. You want to see the journey.
Yeah. And so that's a lot of kind of what happens. Plus things where, because it's so far a prequel, you know, like Numenor doesn't exist in the Lord of the Rings.
What?
So something happens, right? Am I spoiling something for you here?
Just kidding. Sorry.
So Numenor was like an island, but it exists because it is so far, and the rings haven't even been made yet. This is so far in the past that there's a lot of things where you're like, I have no idea how this ends up getting like this. Like, there's no way for me to connect these things together. Other things is very obvious, but anyways, I really enjoyed it. I would recommend it unless you are really anal about everything being perfect. Also, I think the wargs are so fucking cute.
Oh, I love wargs. They're my second.
Did you see the picture I posted?
No.
In our Discord?
Oh, wait, no, I did see that.
Isn't he so cute?
Yeah, that's why I was like, this isn't a warg. They're supposed to be ugly.
Yeah. People didn't love that they were not as intimidating. But I did read a little bit about it where they were saying they wanted the kind of energy that a Chihuahua has, where it's so fucking aggressive.
It's so ugly, it's cute.
I just think it's cute, but I just think ugly animals are cute. The end.
See it. The cuteness.
Yeah, I think it's so fucking
It's
cute.
dopey.
It is dopey. I get it, because his eyes point in two different directions. I get
I'm
it.
also one of the people who don't like pugs, who think pugs are ugly. So
I think so many ugly animals are cute, quote unquote ugly. I don't think they're ugly. I immediately just go, ooh, that's cute. I love hairless cats. I just love
me too.
Animals. I saw the warg and I went, oh my God, that's the cutest fucking thing. Look at that cute face. And Billy goes, that's the ugliest thing I've ever seen. And I was like, fuck you.
No, it's not the ugliest thing I've ever seen. But no. I will say wargs need to be borzois for the record.
I get that. I think, though, the Chihuahua thing, I get it. That kind of very aggressive,
ankle bite,
growly face they can do. Man, I want to warg now. Well, so anyways, Rings of Power, I really like it. I think people should give it a try. The second season has started coming out. It is not fully out yet. Billy and I haven't watched any of that yet. So we'll see, how it goes. But there's 2 new games I've been playing. I don't know if we want to do games at all, but I'm gonna. One of them is a game called Reka, Reka, and you are playing a witch's apprentice to Baba Yaga. And you get to kind of build your house on top of your own chicken leg thing, and you like help people out. So you do like spells and stuff, and you have crows that kind of do your bidding a little bit. I really like it. It's very cozy. It's very cozy spooky, which I like. It doesn't have to be spooky. Like, not everything in it is spooky, but it does have that kind of witchy vibes, and it's great. But it is in early access, and for me, I only was able to play about 4 hours before it got to the sandbox mode, which is fine if you enjoy the sandbox stuff. I personally prefer having a quest, so that's
for sure.
That's just me. But it is early access, so there will be more content later on. And then the other one is another early access game called Nightingale. I've been trying to get Billy to kind of get to it so we can play together, but it's kind of interesting. It's like a survival game, but it takes place in the fairy realms. So there's all these magical things, and there's this corruption, and I've had a pretty good time with it. I don't think I can sit and play it as long as they would like. There are tutorial areas I've gone, and there are 4 of them, and I've only gone through 2. I haven't even finished the second one because I just sort of can't play a survival game that long personally, but
Sure.
it has a lot of building in it as well. I like games where I get to build things specifically to my specifications, kind of thing. Management games where it's just, well, here's a building that looks the same all the time. I don't care for.
I feel you.
Both of those are early access. I've enjoyed them both at this point. That's it for me.
This has been Newstalgia. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.